The Marine Toys for Tots foster care program is bringing hope to children who need it most. Every 2 minutes, a child enters foster care, often with only a small bag of belongings. More than 400,000 children face trauma and uncertainty, many before age 8. This May, during Foster Care Awareness Month, Toys for Tots is creating Room for Joy. In 2025, nearly 375,000 children received comfort through toys, books, and essentials, reminding them they are not alone. Donate now and change a child's life.
A war of words going on in New York. Let's first talk about what Ken Griffin said. He's the very wealthy hedge fund guy who was doing a big project in New York. He moved already from Chicago. We were talking in the last hour with Seth about what was going on in Chicago and everywhere else. Well, he moved from Chicago, his headquarters, to Miami. And then he was also working on a big project in New York. And after Zohran Mamdani did that ad where he was mocking him in front of his second home that Mamdani says he wants to tax. Remember, it's tax the rich, tax the rich, tax the rich. Well, he singled out Ken Griffin and his second home. And then the hedge fund guy came out and said, you know what? That is just nonsense, troubling, and dangerous. This is what Ken Griffin had to say.
Speaking of warm greetings, I was going to do this. Wanted to do this interview outside your apartment, but I thought it would be creepy and weird. So how did you feel about the mayor's little video?
It was creepy and weird.
Agreed.
I mean, like, knock, knock, knock on the window. Like, Mayor of New York
knock
City.
On the screen, yeah.
Yeah, on the screen, like.
Yeah.
Like that's
How many times have you watched that video?
Three.
What are you going to do about it?
I couldn't help myself.
You had to what?
I had to go back and look at it again. I mean, like, you literally look at the first time and you're like, you got to be kidding me. Okay? And then the second time you're like, you know what, this has gone from creepy to actually not really creepy. This has gone frightening because, you know, the CEO of United Healthcare was killed just a few blocks from my house. And anything that creates like an agitation in the extremist on either side of the aisle is a frightening dynamic. I mean, you know, if we look at what happened in D.C.
It's troubling. And he's referring to, of course, that attempted assassination attempt by Cole Allen, who was getting an apology from the judge because he didn't get vegan food. And he was in solitary too long. Boo-hoo-hoo. We'll get to that in a moment. But Ken Griffin has a right to be upset. Zohran Mamdani totally singled him out. And Ken Griffin is contributing so much in terms of taxes. He's also contributing so much with charities, jobs. And if you look at the jobs, in fact, he was planning on doing this $6 billion with a B dollar project, 350 Park, and it would have created 15,000 jobs for the project. That's an enormous amount of a contribution to New York. But it's not good enough for Zohran Mamdani. He was vilifying him left and right. And so finally, Mamdani responded to Ken Griffin. And this just came down a little bit ago. Here is what he said about Ken Griffin, who now is saying he's going to scale back operations of that project in New York because he just doesn't feel welcome necessarily doing a project in New York. Good job, Mamdani. And here's what Mamdani had to say about it.
Ken Griffin yesterday was speaking about calling your video again. He called it creepy and weird. And he said that, again, that you targeting him has just been very unfair. And he said that he's going to be doubling down his investments in Florida rather than New York City. And so I just wanted to get your take. What sort of conversations have you had with him since that video? Have you spoken with him? And what sort of concerns are you having when it comes to potential job losses? Are you looking at ways to, I guess, build up? And your economic development commissioner, have you thought about who you're going to appoint yet? Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll first just start by saying that I want all New Yorkers to succeed. That includes business owners and entrepreneurs who create good paying jobs, who make this city the economic engine, not just of our state, but frankly of our country. And that also includes Ken Griffin, who is a major employer in our city. That does not negate the fact, however, that our tax system is fundamentally broken. It rewards extreme wealth while working people are pushed to the brink. It is a status quo that is unsustainable, that is unjust. And if we want the city to be one that working people can actually afford to live in, then we need meaningful tax reform that includes the wealthiest New Yorkers paying their fair share.
So Ken Griffin, yeah, he's a major employer, but let me go after him and vilify anybody. He goes back to his talking points. It really is quite incredible. It's not like, oh, I'm really sorry. I really want people like that to stay because they do contribute so much. They're wonderful people. Yeah, he brings a lot of people in and he's an employer. But anyway, let's go back to slamming him and anybody who makes money because our system's broken and it's unfair and we've got problems. And too bad. See ya, Ken Griffin. That was basically his answer, almost like with the protests. With the protests, as we talked about at Park East Synagogue, it was like, well, those protesters have a right to protest, and good luck if you're inside the synagogue. The world is upside down.
Sacco and Felice, New York and New Jersey's premier attorneys at law. Their team brings decades of experience across a wide range of practice areas. Whatever life brings, they're your legal team. From everyday matters to complex cases, they've got you covered with the experience you need and the results you want. Because when life gets complicated, they make it simple. SaccoFelice.com. SACCOFILLAS.com. 2 C's, 2 L's.